This is the Mighty O Begin here on clbTV and Mix 1080 AM WFO and YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can reach us there and stay in touch with us. This particular piece that I am going to do today talks about, once again, the new downtown stadium complex project, in which we are going to highlight that there is now a model in place that better benefits the municipality that has a NFL franchise. For years, many have railed against government subsidizing of professional sports teams. Here in Western New York, the outcry has usually fallen on deaf ears of elected officials because no one wants the stigma of losing a professional franchise on their watch. The Buffalo Bills have used the tremendous fan loyalty of this region for more than 50 years to muscle their way to some of the sweetest deals in professional sports. The Buffalo Bills currently receive more than $16 million a year in government assistance to defray their operating costs. Recently, the Bills and county officials answered questions before the county and the legislature about the new so-called ironclad lease that they have just put forward, which, by the way, is basically a remake of the 1998 lease with a few wrinkles in it. This old-fashioned, out-of-touch agreement has put a strain on municipalities for years, and professional franchises have oftentimes put strains on municipalities in receiving certain goods and services and credits that it has put people out of work that need work. We now are in a situation that we have to have a better plan. You can't come forward and say you're going to give the Bills $41 million and lay off the common person who needs a job each and every day and week by week. The question now must be asked is, how do we define the greatly monetary value that we need to afford an NFL team in Western New York? In order to validate my point, we need to examine some monetary facts about the actual financial impact of the bills and some of the misnomers made by our current county executive in regards to this old-fashioned ironclad deal that he has put in the face of the Western New York taxpayer. Number one, the Buffalo Bills receive $16 million a year from taxpayers to defray their operating costs. In actuality, that number is $800,000 less because our county executive has been bragging that for the first time the Bills will be paying rent. It's kind of difficult to pay rent when you receive $16 million a year and your rent is only $800,000 a year. So you have to ask the question is, how can you pay rent when you're already receiving the $16 million a year in aid? The statement within itself is an insult to the intelligence of the taxpayer of Erie County. So out of respect for their old-fashioned agreement, that's rationale is we have to pay to have the luxury of an NFL franchise in our region, and that it justifies the expenditures that we will get back $10 to $20 million a year in tax revenue. This type of old-fashioned justification of the recent agreement is why the current discussion around the county hall is a budget deficit rather than a budget surplus. Giving money away to the 126th richest person in America, whose NFL franchise grossed more than $240 million a year, is a tough sell during hard times. These old ideas are a tougher sell when you're laying off workers and cutting services. But sticking your chest out in an achievement of this so-called new lease, which really has unimaginative ideas that are cost toxic to the taxpayer. I repeat, they are cost toxic to the taxpayer. The good news is that there is a model on the horizon that turns these old ideas upside down and makes the taxpayer investment in a professional franchise profitable. Yes, that's what I said. I said now I will explain how we're going to move in a direction that makes this profitable. And the Greater Buffalo Sports Entertainment Complex and their president, Nicholas Strasek, and Vice President George Haziotis has put forth that plan. The understanding that a venue must be multifaceted and part of our convention space is the first step. Ralph Wilson Stadium is one of the most outdated stadiums in the country and is only used 7 to 9 times a year. Plus, its location is nowhere near the largest real commercial district of Western New York. Its only use is for the Buffalo Bills, which truly does not justify any more upgrades or renovations. The other is your multi-use facility must be located in a complex equipped with a 2,000-room hotel, convention center, retail space, and an international attraction North American Sports Interactive Museum, brought to you by the world-respected Strong Museum of Rochester, New York. All of this creates a constant flow of events, which will create new revenue that will pay for the luxury we love, called the Buffalo Bills. The Greater Buffalo Sports Entertainment Complex, by doing this, follows the model of Lucas Oil Stadium of Indianapolis, Indiana, which since its opening has grossed more than $2.25 billion, attracted more than 4,700 new hotel rooms, 4 new hotels, 4,200 permanent jobs, and helped to stimulate the region's human service and tourism industry in creating 60,000 new jobs. Also, it was awarded the region's first Super Bowl in 2012, which grossed more than $642 million during Super Bowl week. The Greater Sports Entertainment Complex is following the Indianapolis model, and its plans are much better because we have much more natural resources and should have a more and greater economic impact on this region that has never been seen in years. This area is in need of a great stimulus to change the ball game and the economic understanding of this region. This is why everyone that hears the vision of Nicholas Strasek and the Greater Buffalo Sports Entertainment Complex come away excited about bringing one of the most beautiful areas of the face of the earth back to life and competitive with the rest of the nation and the world. The days of taxpayers not receiving a return on their investment must come to an end, and only innovative ideas such as the master plan for a new stadium complex put forth by the Greater Buffalo Sports Entertainment Complex, along with world-class designers and developers of HKS, is how we must proceed. This is the plan that we need to get to in this region to make it happen. It will create living wage jobs and opportunity, and also secure your professional sports franchise here for many years to come. We need you to get involved now. That's all for us here. I am the Mighty Oba with a new plan and a new model to help you afford having the great luxury that we call the Buffalo Bills. That's all for us today.